Anyways, let's get started. I think enough time for people to trickle in. We're also recording this so people can catch up at the end. So as I mentioned, thank you for joining Safe Community Call number 13. I'm Jorge from the Safe team, taking over MC duties for the day. So bear with me if there are any technical difficulties. Just a quick agenda recap on what we're going to cover today from everything happening around the Safe ecosystem. We'll kind of cover quick update on what's happening with the grants program, also the data and AI hackathon, as well as another update from Safe Wallet. So I'll run you through those three main points. And Andre will then take over for the Safe DAO governance side. And lastly, we have Sebastian from HOPR to give us a cool demo and presentation. So we'll turn it over to Sebastian at the end. And of course, leave some space for QA at the end of the call. As always, let us know on Discord in the hashtag community chat channel if you have any questions, comments, or ways we can improve these community calls going forward. So, as I mentioned, Safe Grants, first topic of the day. The big update is that grantees have been selected and will be announced very soon. We apologize for a little bit of a delay here. The main reason that we're taking a little bit of time is everybody's favorite topic, KYC. So we're going through the KYC process with selected grantees. We'll be making that announcement very soon. We're really excited. The quality in the over 120 applications was pretty stellar. So I think everybody will be excited to see what will be built in the Safe ecosystem shortly. Some things have already been started, other things will be coming. So more to come there on the Safe Grant side. And we're also excited to say that Wave 2 is expected to happen in early 2024. So already have an eye towards the future of Safe Grants. But as always, any questions on Safe Grants, please reach out in the forum as the main place to bring up any questions around the grants program. Next up, on the community side, so we're hosting this data and AI hackathon alongside our incredible partners, Gnosis, The Graph, Covalent, BiddleGiddle, and Autonolas. The main theme and the reason for doing this is data and AI are, of course, very interesting topics that connect to the crypto space generally. And alongside these partners, we have really good bounties to build the future of what these, for example, on the Autonolas side, AI agents might do in relation to safe accounts. Similarly, with everybody else on this list, there are pretty interesting applications that could emerge that we're excited to see people build. So if you haven't already, please submit your application to be a part of this hackathon. It started on Monday, but it's going through the following Monday, October 16th. So you have plenty of time to get hacking. We have great workshop videos, about $20,000 alongside other incentives in bounty prizes. So those are all up for grabs, and we're really excited to see what people build. So if you look on our Twitter, we have the main announcement alongside some more information on the different bounties from our sponsors. So happy hacking. Let us know if you have any questions, but we're really excited to see what you build for the hackathon. And on that note too, we also have a few events to close out the year. It's crazy that we're already looking at the end of 2023. First up, we'll be at ETH Lisbon from November 3rd to November 5th. Following that, we'll be at DevConnect in Istanbul for the week of November 13th. And then finally, ETH India, December 8th through 10th. Last year was an insane showing. I think over 10,000 hackers showed up to the ETH India hackathon. Similarly, we're excited to see as many or more people across both ETH India and all the other events that are closing out the year. So if you have any questions on events, if you'd like to meet up with us, let us know. Really looking forward to catching you all there at the hackathons, main events, side events, etc. So see you all wherever in the world we might catch you. And on that note, I will hand it over. Oh, sorry, one more. I forgot about Safe Wallet. Last but not least from my side. A few exciting updates from the Safe Wallet side. Web push notifications are live for Web Wallet. So don't miss any pending transactions anymore. You'll see an awesome pop-up, kind of like what this screenshot is showing from this Chrome, ETH being received into your safe. So push notifications, both inbound and outbound transactions, pending signatures, all these things will keep you up to date on what you need to know about your safe. So push notifications are here. Enable them. Let us know what you like, what you don't like. As always, we're trying to improve the wallet experience and make it as smooth for you as possible. So let us know, play around with it, and excited to see how you all feel about it. And with that, I'll hand it over to Andre to cover on SafeDAO. So Andre, all you.
Thanks so much, Jorge. It's on SafeDAO's side, starting off with the proposals that are currently being executed. SCP-5, as probably all of you know, the redemption period is still active until the October 27th. So around 16 days to go. Like, time is really running quite fast. So we're almost in the last 2 weeks where eligible participants can claim their second user allocation. Since last community call, we made a significant increase in tokens that have been claimed. So right now it's around 41% of the token that have been redeemed, and around 43% of all the wallets have redeemed. We've started writing those token holders that have ENS addresses, for instance, attached directly to redeem their user allocation. We're also looking into other solutions, how to, in the last 2 weeks, really reach token holders and eligible recipients where they are, so to send them out notification. But yeah, if you do know someone that might be eligible because they claimed the first user allocation, let them know. We're really looking forward to push this number over 50, and also in the last 2 weeks, let's see how much redemption we can get. The next slide is on the governance framework. So the governance framework, the review period has ended. There were small minor revisions towards the end that do not trigger the review period, as they're only wording changes. So the expected timeline now is to upload the governance framework on Thursday, so tomorrow, October 12th, to Snapshot. Then we have a voting delay of 1 day, so voting can start on Saturday, October 14th, and the voting period is open for 7 days. So if you do have token and or you are a delegate or you are a guardian, make sure to keep these dates in mind. This will be posted on the forum and the Telegram groups on Discord, so that you know which timeline, which time periods are important. To the next slide, which is an update to the resource allocation framework. We had 2 really good governance calls with great feedback on the 2 open questions that we had put on the forum. The first one was regarding payouts, how the ratio should be between stable coins and our native token. There was really good feedback on that, and also suggestions how other DAOs are doing it. Also discussions where we will get stable coins from. So we're just incorporating that feedback. And the second question that we raised with the community is how we should budget. If we should budget regarding the seasons and with strategies. We're also going to incorporate that feedback. At the same time, or shortly after, we're going to kick off discussions actually around which strategies exactly to fund. Because the strategies are prerequisites to decide on that within the DAO to fund specific initiatives. The strategies will be its own SCP. So I think we've learned already through the grants program and through projects that have reached out in the past and also asked for resource allocation in the forum, what kind of initiatives could be relevant for the DAO. Now we need to package them into strategies that are broad enough for several initiatives to be funded underneath that. But yeah, that'll be kicked off soon. And the next slide, I think, yes, is tomorrow. Tune in to our SafeDAO Twitter or X Spaces. We're gonna recap Q3, all the achievement, all the stuff that we've done, and speak about the milestones of SCP-3. Where are we there? How are we on the timeline? And also with regard to what is an outlook for Q4. So that's going to be tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. CST, and it's going to be hosted on the Safe Governance Twitter. We'll reshare it from Safe, but just make sure if you haven't subscribed to Safe Governance to do so, set your reminder, and then you should get a notification once we kick off the Twitter space. And last, as I had mentioned it the last time, there's of course our Twitter account to keep up to date, the governance channel on Discord. Discord is a forum, but there's also a Discourse mobile app, which is good for its purpose. At least one gets push notifications when new forum threads are being pushed, or if you get any answers or reactions to the threads you have subscribed. So it does make a big difference actually to keep up to date pre-voting and pre-proposal. So yeah, feel free to download it and to add SAFE to your hub there. And with that, I think I'm already handing over to HOPR.
Thanks, Andre. And as Sebastian gets up, I'm going to stop sharing screen. Let me know
Hi
if
there.
Sharing. Yeah.
Yeah. Hi there. I don't know if you can hear me or see me at least. Yeah, I'm Sebastian, founder of HOPR, and I want to talk a little bit about what we work on the privacy side, and yeah, give a quick overview on what we've been building that involves SAFE very deeply. And yeah, please let me know if you see my screen.
Yep, we see your screen.
Cool. So just for context, for me, crypto is all about freedom. You know, it's not about making quick money. It's about freedom technology. In order to build that, we need credible neutrality. And in order to get there, we need censorship resistance, right? Which is something that a bunch of people talk about. And only as a means to an end to get there, we actually need decentralization. That's something that lots of people talk about, and some people are making it seem that's the end goal. Well, to me, that's more a means to an end. But the other one, which I find equally important, is privacy. So that's obviously what we work on at HOPR. But important caveat, all of that needs to be safe, right? And that's something I'll be talking about in the next 10-15 minutes or so. So quick look at what we work on at HOPR before I dive into safe topics. Privacy. So, you know, as you interface any of these magical Web3 infrastructure, you actually interface peer-to-peer networks. And as the name of peer-to-peer networks suggests, the peer-to-peer network, you're surrounded by all sorts of other weird people who you do not know, who largely are anonymous. And, you know, this bottom layer of the stack is definitely a source of IP harvesting, of linking your on-chain information to other layers of the stack. And it's something that I find fundamentally very broken and that we want to solve at HOPR. So we basically want to provide a data exchange layer so that you can safely interface decentralized infrastructure. Now, how do we make that work, right? So I'm talking specifically about interfacing other peers in any sort of peer-to-peer infrastructure. So what we built is data relay networks. So Alejandro, who is the sender of a data packet, is not sending data directly to Zoe because that would expose metadata such as his IP address, but sending it through a distributed network of nodes that relay data packets and thereby kind of hide where data came from and where it goes to. And now zooming in on one of these nodes, we will see that this is actually a bit more than Tor. So for the ones who are familiar with Tor, maybe some people here have been using the Tor browser, but Tor is actually also such a network. We're doing actually something more than Tor. So HOPR is more private than your VPN, or more private even than Tor. So how we achieve that is every single node is mixing packets. So you receive packets and you, as a HOPR mix node operator, are caching them for a short amount of time and sending them out in a different order. And that's how HOPR is way more private than a VPN or even Tor. Now, Tor has been around for quite a while, but yeah, didn't really grow and isn't really used as much. And we think the important thing here is economic incentives. So HOPR combines economic incentives with relaying of data packets. So here in this animation, you see a data packet hopping through this path that was displayed in the previous animation. And you see on the bottom that there is a transfer of funds. So every single one of these relay nodes, when they can provide a proof that they actually forwarded the package, they will get rewarded. And this reward is being distributed in HOPR tokens. So you can see HOPR a little bit like a proof of work network, where the work that you actually do is relaying data packets. And when you can provide the proof that you did so, you will get rewarded with HOPR tokens. Cool. Now on that one, yeah, that was the privacy side. But what do we need to get that done? Well, what we need to get that done is actually we need node operators to run that stuff, right? So every single one of you could run a HOPR node. So looking at other networks here, so I don't want to bash other projects, but this is just something that you can see for what is recommended, how you run a node in another project. So people are basically suggesting you to copy paste key files around, to copy paste passwords around, which, you know, you don't have to be a SecOps specialist to realize that's not very safe, right? It's not very safe, and it's kind of problematic. On the other hand, there is not just these cloud node operators, but there's also this movement, which I like very much, to run infrastructure in a truly decentralized setting. So not all at AWS or Google Compute, but running nodes at home. Now, this is how it might look like under your couch right now, and you run a dApp node, right? And dApp nodes have this issue. It's an awesome product, right? So you can run an Ethereum node, a Bitcoin node, a HOPR node on this. But, you know, the problem is, how do you update the software on that? And chances are you don't actually manually verify the software updates, and you don't actually update your software so frequently, which is a huge attack vector when facing a long list of zero-day exploits. So fundamental issue is basically that we have node infrastructure, which might look something like this, which runs 24/7. On the other hand, it's managing large amounts of funds. So how can we improve that situation beyond, you know, relying on centralized cloud operators or relying on inherently unsafe patterns of all of us running this stuff from home? Well, that's what we're suggesting, and this is where SAFE comes in. We introduce what we call safe staking. So what we're doing is we fundamentally separate your node, which is running tasks 24/7 in a highly automated fashion, from a safe that is keeping your funds safe. So many puns with safe here, sorry for that. So basically, your node is running this infrastructure and earning token, and it's highly automated and always on. On the other hand, you have the safe, which is securing assets, is granting capabilities in a highly secure and mostly offline fashion, right? So that's like a very distinct separation of capabilities and tasks that each of them does. Now, one of them needs to talk to the other, and that is facilitated by what we call a node management module. So it's a safe module. Some of you might be familiar with these safe modules. My colleague Q was actually just posting a bunch of threads on that on Twitter to explain what safe modules are and how you can build your own. So we are building this on top of Zodiac, which is built by Gnosis Guild, which is pretty awesome and allows us to set capabilities in a very in a very controlled fashion. So now I'm going to zoom in on how these components work in a little bit more detail, because basically one safe cannot just manage one node. Like, you could even imagine, if you're a professional node operator, that you manage multiple HOPR nodes, or for that matter, other nodes, because we build kind of general purpose infrastructure here from your one safe. So I think this is great for individual node operators. I think this is also great for professional node operators who operate a bunch of these things. So we want to make it easy for everyone. Now, basically all of your nodes have what we call a chain key, right? So as you've seen before in HOPR at least, but in many other projects as well, you need some private key that signs off stuff. In our case, what you sign off on is the relaying of data packets. And then the safe might have the typical owners that, you know, many of you know, we call that an admin key. So it's, for example, it could be like a 2 of 3 multisig that is then connected by this node management module to the individual nodes. And you can kind of say what your node is capable to do and how much money you entrust each individual node. And for the rest of it, it needs to go to the safe and say, hey, can I have more money? Can I get access to this capability? Now, just briefly, and for the ones who are not so technical, I'm just going to spend 2 minutes on this. We basically have a node stake factory to deploy this. So we have the typical safe proxy factory, which all of you who ever deployed a safe have been in touch with, that deploys the safe proxy. And then we have a separate one that deploys the node management module proxy. Yeah, and overall it looks like this. So we have in the center here, we obviously have the safe. We have the node management module, which is allowing individual nodes and their chain keys to execute transactions. Some of these transactions that your node gave access to can get executed directly, and others need the owners of the safe to get executed. Of course, you can also do that in a fancy way via this multi-send, to send HOPR tokens, manage payment channels. I didn't talk much about it, but HOPR is leveraging payment channels for scalable payments under the hood, and manage the HOPR token. Cool. Now, that was a little bit abstract. We actually built this thing, what I've been talking about here, and I want to just take a few minutes to demo that one. You can also find all our code, as always, free and open source. So if you are working on a, on some staking infrastructure project where you say, hey, I find it kind of uncool that anyone who has access to my physical dApp node can run away with that, that's great. Look at our code. You can fork that and build your own project in a safe fashion on top of it. We also, and I think there's not many projects who did that, kind of provided a custom interface to Safe that we manage on-premise. So I'm going to go ahead and connect my wallet just to show that it works with, even the most interesting wallets. I'm using MetaMask. I have a blank account here, and upon connection, it detects in this HOPR staking hub, which is your gateway to run a HOPR node, that I have not yet created a safe from this account. So I'm going to go ahead. It tells me that I need to stake at least 10K HOPR tokens. That's currently, just for order of magnitude, if I've been a community member, on the order of $400. Otherwise, if I have not been active in the community, I need to put in 3 times as much. Cool. I'm going to continue, and I'm going to deploy my safe. It detects the currently connected wallets. So currently it deploys a one-of-one safe to get started here. And in addition, so I'm just going to go confirm this one. Yeah, MetaMask wants 2 confirmations, of course. And so what is happening right now is my safe instance is being deployed, just like many of you might be familiar when you create a new safe through the app.safe.global UI. And the next thing that it will do is to deploy this module that manages nodes. So I don't actually have HOPR tokens on this demo account here, so I'm not going to go much further than that. But I'll switch to another account, which already has everything set up. So you see, I switched over to this other account, which has a node running. So it has its safe. You could use also the safe UI or the on-chain DEN UI to manage that if you really choose to. Otherwise, if you want to deposit or withdraw HOPR, you can do that through our custom UI. You see, this is obviously much more constrained, and it doesn't allow you this general purpose feature that the awesome Safe UI has. This is really made to the very specific purpose of HOPR. You see in the top right corner that now I have funds which are in my wallet, and I have other funds which are in my safe. And finally, just to show you how a HOPR node looks like, it's a very technical thing, right? This is just like some stats on your HOPR nodes, which is running for a long time here. And yeah, so in this setting, I have a bunch of peers that I'm connected to. I have incoming payment channels, and I think I have at least one outgoing payment channel. And yeah, this is managed in part by this private key, which is managed by the node itself. And in part, it's managed by the safe. So if somebody steals my dApp node and runs away with it, not all my funds are gone and at risk, because the majority of that is managed in a safe, which right now is a 1 of 1, which is already, kind of good. But I could set it up into some more complicated setup as well. Yeah, that was just to give you a quick overview. And yeah, happy to hear any other questions that you guys might have, or comments on this whole setup. Again, my motivation here is to use Safe as infrastructure. Funnily enough, we use Safe as infrastructure within other infrastructure, right? So yeah, to me, that's a movement that should get way more traction. And people should think much more, how can we make not just Ethereum staking safe, but how can we make token staking way safer than it is today?
Yeah, great mission and really impressive demo, Sebastian. Thank you for that. There's a lot of love for HOPR in the chat. Does anybody have any questions that have come up from that presentation or demo that you would like answered? Feel free to put it in the chat or in the Q&A section on the right-hand side. I guess while people give that a quick think, I'll just hit the last point of the call, which is, as always, if you have any questions on these community calls or want to record or access any links from today's call, we maintain this link tree as a live place to kind of capture all these. So we'll have all of the HOPR updates from Sebastian, as well as everything else covered on this link. So scan that QR code and keep up to date with everything from these community calls. And I don't think I saw any other questions come in unless I missed anything. So yeah, going once, going twice. If not, I'm sure people can find you on Twitter, Sebastian. But yeah, thank you very much for that presentation.
I will leave my Twitter contacts there also, and I'll just post a tweet here from my colleague Q, which gave a really nice micro tutorial on how you can write your own safe module. I'll just paste it in the chat right now.
Awesome. Yeah, so if you haven't already in the chat, that tweet is there. A really good overview, as Sebastian already mentioned. But yeah, if anybody has any other questions, if you want to speak up, let us know. Otherwise, thank you for joining Safe Community Call number 13. I think we can keep this one short and sweet. Thanks to Sebastian and the HOPR team for preparing this presentation, and also for the important work you're doing for the ecosystem. And I think on that note, we can sign off. We'll put the recording up, but thanks again for joining. See you all on the next one. Have a good rest of your week, everyone.
Stay safe.
Stay safe. Ciao, ciao.